Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Welcome back, dear brothers and sisters. I welcome you all to our class number 30, where we are learning about Fa'al Mudari. And what we were doing was we were learning about the different forms of Fa'al, which is Marfu, Mansoob and Majzoom. Before we enter into our class, what we're going to do, we're just going to do a quick revision about the concepts of Marfu, Mansoob and Majroor in the nouns, what makes them Mansoob, what makes them Majroor, and then we go on to learn about the Fa'al, which makes the things Fa'al, Mansoob and Majzoom. So coming to the nouns, so we know we have Marfu, Mansoob and Majroor. So in a natural state, the Fa'al is Marfu. So either it will have a Dhamma or it will have a Waw if it is a Jama' Mudhakkar Salim, or it will have Alif Muthanna as a Marfu form if it is a Muthanna. So these are the natural states. So something comes in front, and that makes a noun a Mansoob. So we're going to see what are the particles of Mansoob, which makes the noun a ism, a Mansoob. So we know there are 6 particles basically, which are called inna, anna, ka'anna, layta, lakinna, la'alla. So these are the 6 particles which make a noun Mansoob. Whenever a noun is prefixed with these harf Nasb, what we call, so you will have a Mansoob noun. What they mean? Inna means verily, which is a harf tawqid wa nasbin. Anna means that. So you know, inna, it comes in the beginning of a jumlat al-ismiya, and anna comes after a fa'al. Okay, but inna can come after a fa'al, especially qala, and there are other conditions where inna can come in between the sentence, but normally it comes in the beginning of a sentence. The harf tawqid wa nasbin each gives a more emphasis for the sentence. So ka'anna means as if, and layta means I wish. So if something has happened bad and if you want to, like, you wish to change it, so you say layta. So for example, ya laytani kuntu turaba. So the day of judgment, when the kuffar will see the day of judgment, they say, I wish I was a dust. So layta means something impossible has happened, and if you wish, you could change that. And lakinna means but, and la'alla means hope or fear. So these are the things which will make a noun Mansoob. So coming to Majroor, so what are the things which makes a noun Majroor? So we have learned this before in the book 1, so we are going to quickly revise. It's like ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, munzu, mudh, khala, rubba, hasha, min, ada, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So this is the harf Jarr. So any noun which is preceded by these letters or harf, so that noun will become a Majroor. It will have a kasra. So bata, kaf, lam, waw, munzu, mudh, khala, rubba, hasha, min, ada, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So this is about the nouns. We have Mansoob and Majroor, and we know the noun also becomes Majroor when it becomes mudaf ilayhi and when it comes after a zarf. So these are the conditions where a noun becomes Majroor. So we're going to Fa'al now. So as we go to the Fa'al, what we're going to do is we're going to revise ourselves with the song of Brother Asif. We know there are 3 types of Fa'als: Fa'al Madi, Fa'al Amr and Fa'al Mudari'. And Fa'al Madi and Fa'al Amr, or Mabni and Fa'al Mudari' has different moods. So just going to go back to the song by Brother Asif.
فعل ماض فعل أمر مبنيان فعل مضارع is morabun. It has three kinds of moods. Fi'l mudari is morabun. It has three kinds of moods. It can be marfu, it can be mansoob, it can be majzoom, but never majroor. It can be marfu, it can be mansoob, it can be majzoom, but never majroor.
So that's the fa'al mudari'. So if you see a fa'al mudari' is morab, that means the signs at the end of the fa'al changes. It can be a marfu sign, which will give us the information about the sentence. It can be a mansoob, and it can be majzoom. The fa'al cannot have any kasra. So that's the distinguishing point. So if we just quickly have a look at the marfu form, how the fa'al looks like a natural state of a noun, is you got yadhabu, tadhabu, tadhabu, adhabu, nadhabu. That means the fa'al ending with the dhamma in the fa'ils where the fa'il is mustatir. That means the fa'il is not attached to the fa'il. Then we got here the sign of noon, which suggests that it is a marfu, and we have yadhabani, yadhabuna, tadhabani, tadhabuna, tadhabina, tadhabani, and we know that these are called afwalul khamsa, and the first category is called afwalul arba, the 4 nouns, 4 verbs and the 5 verbs. And the last what we got is the mabni group, is yadhabna and tadhabna. The noon is the fa'il, so it doesn't change any sign at all. And we know that we will say the mabni group will be fi mahalli raf'in, mahalli nasbin, or mahalli jarrin. So going to the mansoob form of fa'al. So what are the things which actually makes a fa'al mansoob? So there are 6 basic particles which makes the noun mansoob. That means the noun will have a fatha. The fa'al will have a fatha. So those are an, lan, likai, izan, hatta. An, lan, likai, izan, hatta. These are the 5, sorry I said 6, it's 5 particles which makes the fa'al mansoob. So what do these mean? An means to. So lan means will not. Lan means will not. Likai means in that case, or you can say in order to. And idhan means so that. Idhan means so that. And hatta means, we know hatta, we already done this one, means until. So these are the particles which makes the fa'al mansoob. So let's take an example of a fa'al and see how it has an effect. So if we take an, which means to, and what happens is when an comes, it makes a noun mansoob. That means if the yadhabu, it becomes yadhaba. So it's an yadhaba. An tadhaba means, and the noon aata hai, noon jata hai group, when an comes, the noon goes away. So we say an yadhaba, an yadhabu, an tadhabu, an tadhaba, an tadhabuna. And you got mabni, it doesn't change, and an yadhabna, an tadhabna. So what is it? What are the other particles we have? Lan, again the same thing. Lan yazaba will not go. So we're just going to see how we're going to translate this in a minute. So likai, likai yadhaba, likai tadhaba. Idhan, idhan yadhaba, idhan tadhaba. Hatta, hatta yadhaba, hatta tadhaba. And if you can see, it is a noon aata hai, noon jata hai, where the noon is the sign of mansoob or majzoom. So here it will be, when these particles come, then the noon aata hai, noon jata hai group will be mansoob, and the mabni will be called it as a fi mahalli nasbin. Okay, so how do we make the sentence with this one? So if you say an yazhaba, means so that he goes, to go. Lan yazhaba, lan will not go. Like lan yadhhaba means he will not go. Lan tadhhaba means she will not go or you will not go. Lan tadhhaba means you will not go or you are not going. So that's what it means. Likai means in that case. So in that case, if it's like likai yadhhaba means in that case he goes. In that case you goes. In that case I go. So likai adhhaba, likai nadhhaba. Isn't means so that he goes. Isn't yadhhaba, so that he goes. Isn't tadhhaba, so that you go or so that she goes. Hatta means until. So hatta yadhhaba means until he goes, until you goes. Hatta tadhhaba, or until she goes. So hatta yadhhabna, so again you will say fi mahalli nasbin. And hatta tadhhabi will be anti in front of us, so without the noon. So lan tadhhabi means you will not go to the female. Likai tadhhabi, you will not, in that case you will go. So these are how the nouns changes because of the presence of these harfs. So going to our next, again what we're going to do is just revise quickly. So what are the things which makes a nasb, a fa'al nasb is an, which will make the noun of the fa'al having ending with the fatha, yadhhaba, tadhhaba, and the noon aata hai. Af'al al-khamsa will have noon drop. So how do we describe this? Fa'al mudari'un Mansoobun bi hadfi noon. The noon has been dropped and we got the mabni group. So how do we describe this? Fa'al mudari'un mabniun ala sukun fi mahalli nasbin. So what are the other particles we have? Lan, likai, idhan, hatta. An, lan, likai, idhan, hatta. An, lan, likai, idhan, hatta. Should repeat with me. An, lan, likai, idhan, hatta. So what does an means? To. Lan means will not. Lan tadhhaba, you will not go. Likai means in that case. Idhan means so that. Hatta means until. So these are the ways how fa'al becomes mansoob. So next inshallah we go and do what does the particles which makes a fa'al majzoom, which means it will have a sukoon at the end of the fa'al, okay, which you will not see in the noun. So we have in, lam, lamma, wal, fal, li. Wal, fal, li. So what do we get? In, lam, lamma, wal, fal, li. In, lam, lamma, wal, fal, li. So what do these mean? So whenever, so in means if. In means if. Lam means did not. Lam means did not. Lamma means not yet. And wal, fal, li means all these three, when they come, it means should. So they all three mean the same. Li, wal, fal, li. So in means if, lam means did not, lamma means not yet, wal, fal, li means should. So let's take an example again of yadhhaba, inshallah. So if we bring in, what happens means in yadhhab. So see, in yadhhab, it's not yadhhaba. An has, so we have to be very careful. We should not get confused between inna, anna, in and there are four different particles and they have different positions. So it's very important, because when we are reading without vowel sounds, we should be able to know exactly what we are reading, what does it mean. So in yadhhab, an yadhhaba. Okay, and same thing happens to the af'al al-khamsa where the noon is dropped. So in yadhhaba. So how do we know if in or an? So depending on the connotations in the sentence, we will understand whether it is mansoob or majzoom. So how do we describe the af'al al-khamsa? Is the fa'al mudari'un majzoobun bihadfi noon here after in, and we got mabni group, so which yes, we will say fa'al mudari'un mabniun ala sukun fi mahalli jazmin. So what are the other things which makes a fa'al majzoom? So we know it is lam. Lam means did not. The thing is to note that lam means a past tense, but still we will make the present tense verb majzoom. So lam is not used with the past tense, even though it means a past tense. Like lam tazhab, that you did not go. That's a past tense, but it is used with the present tense mudari'. Lam tazhab, lam tazhaba, lam azhab. So if you say I did not go, so I say lam azhab. So you can say ma dhahabtu or lam azhab. So that's what it means. Lamma means not yet. So I have not yet gone. Lamma adhab, I have not yet gone. Lamma tadhhab, you have not yet gone. Wal falli, wal falli means should. So that if you say wal tazhab means you should go or she should go, the female if you're telling. So in means if, lam means did not, lamma is not yet, wal is should, fal means should, li means should. Li nazhaba, li tazhaba. So this is all which means the jazm particles of jazm. So we'll do it again. So what are these? In. So what happens when in comes? The fa'il becomes majzoom, which will be lam in yadhhab. If he goes, that's what it means. In yadhhab, in tadhhab, in adhhab. So with the afal al-khamsa, it becomes in yadhhaba, in tadhhaba, in tadhhabi. So noon drops here. So we know anti is in tadhhabi. So muannas, and we got mubni group. So which is doesn't change. So we will know based on the sentence. So we have in lam, lamma, wal falli. In lam, lamma, wal falli. In lam, lamma, wal falli. What do it is of a harf nasb? Nafis. An lam likay izan hatta. Okay, good. So what is harf for jazm? It's in lam lamma wal falli. So it's an lan likay izan hatta is your harf nasb, and harf jazm is in lam lamma wal falli. You have to remember this until the end, inshallah. So in means if, lam means did not, lamma means not yet, wal falli means should. So these are the particles of nasb, jazm, and the fa'il in natural state will be marfu, and the ism will be marfu with dhamma, alif and waw, and mansoob will be fatha, ya and ya, and majroor will be kasra and ya and ya. These are the for the nouns, and for the fa'ils it will be dhamma for the af'alul arba, where the damir is, fa'il is mustatir, and fatha in the mansoob, and sukun in the majzoom, and bithubuti noon in af'al al-khamsa is marfu, bihadafi noon is your mansoob and majzoom, and mabni will be the yadhabna, tadhabna, hunna and antunna. If we are able to recognize these things, inshallah we'll be able to understand Quran much better. So that's it, a quick class today to introduce you to different types of files and what are the things which changes the file. So inshallah we will do some lesson in the next class. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.